Hello, good evening, and welcome back to my channel. Now, Michael Martin and Simon Harris declaring that they only just realised housing costs still too high in Ireland. Taoiseach Michael Martin says that in conclusion to that, housing costs are still too high for many. And for the people in Ireland, Taoiseach Michael Martin, Fianna Fáil, I can't stress enough about it apparently. Speaking to the media with Fianna Fáil and the Archbishop in Dublin, Mr. Martin said the event would focus on the future and denied that his party's biggest successes were in the past. Well, this is the present, so get with it. The event is marking the 100th anniversary of the party, which is the largest in Ireland's coalition government. That's all they talk about, the coalition, the war, the government. Michael Martin insists the government was making progress in building social and affordable properties to tackle Ireland's housing crisis. I don't see how they have, because they haven't even made a start on it. They're saying they've made a significant difference, but obviously it's not enough, so we need to do more. So he states. And coming back into government in 2020, they're stating there have been about 177,000 new housing units developed since then. Which I don't see how, because it probably hasn't even done 5,000, let alone 10. Now, they're stating also they've made a difference, but it is not enough. So, in regards, they need to do more than that. They haven't put their first step forward. They keep taking one step back. The Fianna Fáil leader also pointed to a massively increased population in the country. Yeah, we're well aware of that. Stating 2.5 million more people are living in the country than there would have been in 1926. That creates its own pressures. Migration creates challenges as well as terms of the housing issue. So they're stating we do not need to look at the composition of the homeless issue, because it is not as it was. Yeah, it's quadrupled since then. Now, in relation to that, they're stating they'd have the increased volumes of housing and the supply that is going to be key. So they're stating significantly increased social housing compared to 4 years ago. We are now at 9,000 new builds. I don't see how. They're also stating they want to give about 10,000 newly built social houses per annum, which will help structurally for the homeless situation. You should have done that over 10 years ago. The percentage of first-time buyers now is way up compared to 4 or 5 years ago. Costs are still too high for many, more than many thousands. Martin said it's a clear roadmap for the future, but said the country is in a much more fragmented political situation, both in Ireland and beyond. Better focus on your own country and your own people, not Ukraine or anybody else. Especially immigrants and illegal immigrants. Also stating if you look at Britain, much more fragmented across Europe. The vast majority of governments now are coalition governments, Labour, that just have got a clue. Basically, in some countries we have 5 or 6 parties in government. Obviously, they don't think that's the deal, but they're stating they have good success in the last general election. But in terms of numbers for where they were, they're stating rather than in terms of the cohort of people that have come in, which they stated and thought, they were thinking that the next generation has brought significant energy to the party and really gives a certain platform to build for the future. Again, they're just sugarcoating their own words. They haven't got a clue where they want to go, what direction. And stating also, so one can never be definitive in terms of the next election some years away, or indeed the election after that. And there'll be bumps along the roads, of course there will be. Trying to be funny, there's more than bumps in the road, potholes, craters, if you ask me. But I think that they're stating they think they've been overturning the corners from where they've had the challenges before, back in 2011. Now, Mr. Martin and Harris are also stating that this year's budget will have a strong emphasis on families. and asked if the budget would be focused on families or businesses. The teachers said that neither was mutually exclusive. So again, it's not important to them. They're just running their mouth, one excuse after the other, more lies after lies. So also stating they'll always have the economic growth in relation to having the social progress in regards to the housing situation. There would be a very strong emphasis on families to try and protect families, because the cost of significance for families and children in particular are extremely important. So there's a large pro-Palestinian protest that's taking place outside the Dublin Royal Convention Centre, where the art file is taking place, and there's ongoing protests as well. So that's pretty much the news that we all want to hear. The Irish keeping their foot down, and especially the farmers and everybody else. Keep doing it, lads. You're doing a great job. So in relation to that, please like, subscribe and follow, and I'll upload more content. Thank you.